First. Alrighty, guys. So I'm here. I get to got the opportunity to sit down with Pez. I met Pez 3-4 years ago now, something like that.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah,
4.
yeah. 4 years. Yeah, we had a crazy weekend time. A couple of great stories.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Yeah. And I guess I just really wanted to sit down with you today, Pez, and just talk about your story, but also your the leadership as well, side of everything with the opportunities you've had with working with Word of Life, which is a youth development camp, is it not?
Yep.
Yeah.
For the most part. Yep.
Yeah, cool.
I
And
got to come over here.
that's all right. And just get a really good understanding of the leadership required, and obviously there's going to be struggles with all of that type of stuff, especially when you first start. So I'd just love to hear all about that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, so I got involved with Word of Life, I guess. So they started off as just like I heard about them through like this like youth camp type thing. So I got in trouble in high school.
Yeah.
And little incident with the teacher, and like a teacher wanted to push me in the classroom, and I asked him the first time, like, don't put your hands on me, and the second time he wanted to push me, I kind of swung his hand out the way, it hit this phone,
Yeah.
and it knocked the phone off the wall. So because the teacher went to the hospital for a bruise on his hand, I had got locked up for aggravated assault, and the judge said, it's either you can go to this youth camp for a weekend, or you'll get locked up for 2 years. I was like, well, that's easy. So
Yeah.
I'll just go.
Easy decision there.
Not hard at all. And growing up, how I did, like I grew up around like a lot of gangs, selling drugs when I was super young at like 10, and it's just what you know. It's not that it's what you want to do. It's just all you know because it's the only thing around you. It was so different, going to upstate New York to this camp. Because it was like one of the first times like you didn't have to look, watch it back. You can just have fun, be you, because you was around totally different people you probably never meet again.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. I went up there, man. Had a ball time of my life. It's crazy. And then they got a summer camp as well. So that summer I ended up going up, and I had 4 rides to just about anywhere I wanted to go for football. And that summer, I decided, I want to take a year off of football, and I'm going to go to their institutes, Word of Life Bible Institute is called. And through that, I became a counselor at the same camp that I went to as a camper.
Yeah, that's cool.
I work with kids from everywhere, from all backgrounds, kids that's either homeschooled or kids that come off the streets, kids that don't have parents, kids who parents are on death row, and even kids from my neighborhood back in New Jersey. It was crazy. And kind of like watching their life change and kind of seeing like, man, even the negative stuff that I did is being used to point these kids in the right direction, to show them like, hey, this is not the life that you want, the one that you live in now. There's so much more out there that you just haven't seen or experienced yet,
Yeah.
Helping youth see that it's something different than what you wake up to every day is like a huge eye opener, because you hear it all the time, but you don't know it unless you see it,
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool, and I love it. And I ended up doing that for probably like 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, like I think I was telling you the other day though, is like I was watching another talk that you're doing, and one of the things that I took away from it, I was like, fuck, that's just kind of put it in terms where I could really understand how much you enjoyed it. Was you were saying that helping kids and everything, like and helping the youth going from the darkness to the light is to use like the equivalent of like a cocaine high, you were saying. And like that in terms as well, like obviously not everyone's done cocaine, but at the same time you go, fuck, that must be super, super powerful just to be able to help kids and youth, especially because you've come from that that type of background as well.
Yeah, and I guess for me, the reason why is so fulfilling to me, like from when I started to even now, and
Mm.
probably always be, is because I picture myself as that kid,
Yeah.
and wishing that I had that person to talk to.
Mm.
I wish when I was that age that somebody would have told me the things that I'm telling them kids. So as important as that would have been for me when I was a kid, I put myself in that kid or teenager's place and say, all right, this is important. They need to
Mm.
hear it. And you may even get some kids that say, oh, I don't need that, or
Mm.
that's not going to work. But they, down the road, it's all about planting that seed.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Whether it work in that moment or not, you can't get frustrated. All we have to do is do our part. And then what happens down the road, at least you can say, my influence was positive, but not negative. If I can
Yeah.
go away from a conversation or a weekend or whatever with that, knowing that I gave my best and most positive effort, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, exactly. And like, even when, like you just said, then like a lot of kids, when you first tell them as well, going, nah, I don't need that. That's not for me. Like,
Yeah.
from everything I've heard and everything, like I feel like that would have been you as well back when you were their age. Like, you'd have been like, nah, what are you talking about? This isn't for me, rah, rah. And in that other talk I was listening to as well, you said you had, I can't remember the guy's name, but basically someone there, as you start to get a little bit older, that was like, hey, why don't we just start looking at some of this stuff? And you're like, no, no, no. And then the one thing that really kind of was like, wow, fuck, that's pretty powerful, was when you guys were at the church really late. He just said, hey, just have a read the Bible. And you're like, nah, fuck that. I don't want to read it. You're there for so long that you start reading it. And then you read a part that just resonated so much with you. And then all of a sudden you're just like, nah, fuck this. I don't want this. You can't have what I want. And when I was listening to that, I'm like, oh shit, like, for myself, like I've never been in a situation anywhere near anything like that, but I can kind of pull little bits from that, going, okay, yeah, I know for myself when I've listened or I've read something, going, okay, I need to do this, and deep down I know that I haven't been doing it. I personally, I get super defensive, like, nah, fuck it, I don't need to do that. I'm good by myself. And yeah, it's just really, really cool and positive to see when you can start to go, oh, cool, that's what it is. And then you just start to see it transition. You go, oh, actually, I can see how that probably is what I have to do.
Yeah, and it's great because a lot of the time, I think it's the moment when you can become honest with yourself, um, and that you can look at the person who telling you to do the right thing and be humble enough to say you right, because nobody wants to be wrong. Nobody. I
Oh,
don't care
yeah.
who you are. Because then you gotta admit that you was wrong, and you gotta admit that somebody was right.
Mm.
Somebody that maybe didn't grow up like you,
Mm.
somebody who you think, oh, he don't understand my situation. He never had to experience the things that I experienced, or you know, um, have your best friend die in your arms, which was for
Mm.
me that was huge. One of the biggest moments of my life was that. Um, but a lot of times we have to, and we we take in, well, I won't even say we take in, we sit there and acknowledge a lot of information, but we never take it in.
Mm.
That's our problem. Like, and that's even right now, there are so many things I don't know, and there's probably so many things I can be doing better, but I have to, every day and every conversation I have, you stop and you humble yourself and say, okay, I want to get something out of this.
Yeah.
Even if you know for a fact you may not, sit and try to hear somebody else's perspective, you know, and then you got to really sit and look in the mirror and say, okay, was what he said true
Mm.
about me? Like,
Yeah,
you know, you
100%.
boom, like, dang, he right. And then once you are able to admit it to yourself, can you say, all right, I need to change now? Because that's the biggest.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to change who they are because they think, oh, I'm the best version of me I can be. No, you're not at
Mm.
all. Like, you
Exactly.
learn
Yeah.
every day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, it's interesting. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I really like the point what you made just then, is like the realization, like, and that's what I've personally gone through as well. And like the last like 6 months, the last 6 months for me has been fucking huge. But
Mhm.
and everything I put it down to is just the realization. Like, to start off with, I'll go through and I'm like, oh yeah, cool. I'm the fittest. I'm the best. No, I can't get any better. and if you believe that, then you won't get any better. And
Yeah.
the first step of everything to change or whatever and getting better with everything is the realization going, oh, actually, all right, this action isn't actually serving me 100%. I could do this and I would get better results, or this would be better for me. And until you realize that, you're not going to be able to change. Like it's physically impossible. If you don't think if you think you're at 100%, you're not going to change something. So then you're at 50%. Like that's just the way it is. So, yeah.
And it's interesting because I look at certain things like this. Like,
Yeah.
think about somebody who wakes up every day and they look in the mirror and they say, "Oh, I look good. You know, I'm fine. I don't need to work out today." And
Yeah.
then a week later, after not working out, you look in the mirror and say, "Oh, I still look good," but you gained 3 pounds. But you able to justify in your mind, "Yo, nah, I still look good." Month later, you didn't gain 15 pounds. You saying, "Oh, I still look good." A year down the road, you done gain 100 pounds, but you have justified in your mind so much that you are fine and your routine is good enough that we, right in front of us, we let our entire person slip, and it's crazy how many people do that, whether it's with their health, whether with it is education, or, just growing the person that you are, spiritually or whatever. We have to. I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, my biggest competition is me." That's dumb. Like, why would it be
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Because you can alone. We can only go so far. You can,
Oh,
but
100%.
and where do we get different things that we do, like our taste in music? Maybe a friend showed us that. Where do we get where we work out, or the way we eat and stuff? Oh, so we saw somebody else do it. So like you have to learn to pick out the good and the bad from what's around you, the people around you, because there's good and bad in everything. But we have to get ourselves out the way, because ourself, honestly, it's the one thing that'll hold us back more than anything. Because, like I said earlier, we think we know what's best. It's like, you really don't. We don't.
No.
And if we did, we should just lock ourselves in the closet and say, all right, I'm gonna be the best person ever with just you in that closet. Then come out a year later and you tell me how it's going. So, probably not that good, So it's all about humbling yourself, man.
Oh, 100%. And I think like what you said there is like you versus you. Like it's never you versus you. Like you need to be your own, to a point, your own biggest fan, because you need to. If you don't believe in yourself, then no one will, to start off with. But then the other thing is like you need to have a support group with everything you do. And like you said, like surrounding yourself with people that's gonna have a positive influence. And in saying that, like no matter who you surround yourself with, there's always gonna bring some sort of negative to it. So you just have to, I guess, go, cool, sweet. I'm gonna take this from this person, and I'm gonna not associate myself with that part, and just be aware of it all. But I think that also, like from what you're saying, like that obviously then ties a lot into the leadership stuff that you do with the youth camp as well. Going like, cool guys, like let's take the positives from this. It's not you versus you. It's let's all kind of grow together, and I guess it's also, like we said before, the realization going, cool, this isn't what you want. Trust me. And obviously from your perspective, you're going, trust me, I've been there, and now I'm here. It's here. This place here is a lot better. Like let's just try and transition that. Yeah.
Yep. And a lot of times it's so much easier to. One thing I love about working with youth is they are willing to take in more than adult with, because the older we get, the more content we are who ourselves, with us, and the more we try to justify everything we do. When you're young, you're still going through a lot of stages of discovering yourself. And for me, those are so important, because if you can plant those good seeds while they're young, they may not take it all in, but they definitely gonna take some in. And if you can help at least show them a path, it's like Imagine being on a highway and you got 15 exits there, you know, and the person is sitting there and they lost and you saying, hey, there's 15 paths you can take. 8 are good, 7 are bad. I'm gonna tell you why they good. I'm gonna tell you why they bad. Now you pick. You know now. You know, and what you do with that information or whatever it is, trying to, you know, plan you. It's up to you. You know, it really is at the end of the day. But working with youth is good. Like I said, because everybody was young at one point.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, we all ain't gonna be old, you know, but everybody was young. Everybody have their personal battles, and I don't have to go through what somebody else went through to understand it. You know, because good is good, bad is bad. Period. You know? And a lot of people, and I used to be that way and think, oh, unless you grew up how I did, unless you saw the things that I did, experienced the things I did, you can't tell me nothing. That was me, prideful, cocky, you know. But it took a person. His name was Scott Hiroshima, who never he didn't even he was 35 and never smelled weed before.
Yeah.
In my mind, it's impossible. I've been around weed from day one.
Yeah.
You know, or never. He didn't even know what color cocaine was. You know, but it took somebody who was so far away from what my life was to get me on the right path. You know, and it's crazy even now to go back and think like this little Japanese dude. You know, liquid finger was the one who helped bring me to my knees and say, "All right, Piz, enough."
Yeah.
You know? So, wow.
And like what you said just before as well, with the kids being able to take stuff in more, and I think it comes back to what we're saying as well. Is like when we start becoming adults and everything, both males and females, obviously males a little bit more. There's a huge level of ego, and you don't want to be wrong. And being wrong is the worst thing in the world. So someone coming in telling you, going, hey, dude, like, you need to change some shit. What you're doing is not great. You're like, nah. Like, you, in terms of defenses and stuff, they're going to be up rock solid. Yeah. And for myself, obviously, completely different situations. But I've personally experienced that I've been doing a lot of work with mentors and stuff like that. And when they first come to you, going, dude, all right, let's do an order of the activities you're doing through the day, and I list them out, and he goes, all right, you're doing 10% of what you need to do every day. And in my mind, I'm like, fuck off, I'm doing so much work. But
like, I'm going 100%. What you talking about 10, you know?
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And then now I look back at it and I'm like, fuck, he said 10%. I was working at like 3%. I'm so much further in terms of my productivity and so much happier where I want to be. But at the time, I'm like, nah, get out. See you later. Like, I don't, you don't know me. You don't know what you're talking about.
No, I get that. And for me, one of the most humbling places to experience that is in the gym, because like I'm a big lifter, big lift a lot. And, like a couple weeks ago, I was in the gym, like before everything got shut down, and I was doing a couple sets of deads, and I got like just a way I progress and everything, and so far as in my mind, it's like, oh, okay, this working. You know, I'm pulling big weight and everything still. And the guy come over and was like, you know, why are you going through your progressions like that? I was like, what you talking about? It's like, I know what I'm doing. He's like, yo, you know, he said, look, I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong, but if you really trying to excel, try this. And in my mind, I blocked him out. I was like, yo, you know nothing, you know, like,
do you know who I am type of thing.
You know, and on this day, I was working up to get to my maxes, and I had pulled 725 that day on the dead. This dude, I bet you he was 100 pounds less than me. He put 800 on the bar, pulled it, and I looked and said,
"That's what, for 800 pounds."
800
yeah,
pounds.
so that's like close to 400 kilos.
Yeah. And I mean, he pulled like 80 more pounds than I did, and I was in my mind, I was like, okay, maybe I should, you know, listen to what he said, you know. But it was at that moment, it was humbling. It was like, dang, like I shouldn't have got so defensive in the first place, you know. Like, and he came to me so chill and so cool, but like you said, we can put our guard up
anything.
Oh, yeah,
Anything that
dude.
we think we are the best at, you know, that we get a lot of recognition for,
Mm,
those are probably the things the most that we need to listen to advice on.
mm.
You know, yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, dude,
it's
100%. And
crazy.
like that was for me. Like obviously I'm not as much in terms of a training, what I call like I don't identify with training as much as what I used to. That was literally my life. I used to train 6 hours a day every day for 2 or 3 years to try and get to CrossFit Games. Got super high, never made it to the games. But when people came and was telling me, hey, you have to do this, if they were not levels above where I was, I'd be like,
Hmm.
you do not have an idea of what you're talking about. Like, see you later. I don't even want to hear it. And that was the mindset I was in. And looking back at it now, a lot of the times it was, dude, you need to be eating more. And like I was training 6 hours a day and I was eating maybe 2,500 calories. I'm like, dude, I should have been eating like 4,000 calories. Like it's stuff like that. Like you just like, why was I not doing it? But it's again, it's like that ego thing, that you go, I'm better than you. So if anything, I should be telling you what to do, not you telling me what to do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Um, Last little thing that'd be awesome to touch on as well is, so obviously you were at the Word of Life youth camp for a bit, and then you started actually being a mentor. Is that right? Being a mentor there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I guess from your perspective, so obviously when you're a mentor, you're taking kids through that period as well and helping them out and being a bit of a leader. What did you, I guess, what were your challenges that you faced when you first started? Like, what did you find anything super confronting or super tough when you were doing it or anything like that?
Um, a lot of it is so. How I grew up was people were super tough. You know, you couldn't cry. Um, you know, you you couldn't really show emotions and stuff like that. And a part of me, even now, is still that way. You know, but when you can teach, you can tell 10 kids the exact same thing, but how you tell each individual kid
Mm,
is very important because some kids need tough love. Some kids need you to be soft and gentle with them, you
yeah,
know. And that was for me. That was the biggest thing. Was learning. All right, each of these kids might need to be taught the same lesson, but how do I teach them individually
yeah,
in a way that they pick it up?
yeah.
You know,
So they're actually going to be able to take the lesson on.
exactly. And so for me, that was the biggest challenge because I understood so much of life, even as a young age, because of everything I've been through.
Mm,
But I only knew, um, like I said earlier, of one way of putting it across. So I had a kid, and this was interesting. So I had a kid, actually two kids, two different kids. The one kid was from a family that was like super wealthy. I mean, parents were billionaires. It was crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Another kid, same same cabin. His dad was in Angola, in this Louisiana. And Angola is a prison where everyone in that prison is on different. So he
Okay, yeah.
grew up with nothing. Mom became so I mean poor to the richest kid, and both of them just had this like problem with just disrespecting their the people. So the one kid had a problem disrespecting his parents. The one kid had a problem disrespecting his foster parents. Because he lived with foster parents and stuff. And I remember sitting them both down, and I was real tough on like both of them.
Yeah.
Tough, 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 tough. And the one kid understood it, the other one didn't. He just for some reason, and I was getting frustrated. And I was like, why? Why is he getting? So then I remember I talked to one of my buddies about it. He said maybe he is so used to getting yelled at that he needs to hear it from a different way.
Mm,
So I remember I took the other kid, the privileged kid, and I took him aside and I just had a regular conversation. Talk was gentle, and he clicked with him. The same thing I said for
mm,
3 days, it finally hit him. And I sat there and said, dang. And I couldn't blame him because it was all me. It was
mm,
my fault the whole time because
I never took time to look at these kids as individuals. I just wanted to group them the same because they both had the same issue.
Yep.
But once I understood that, it helped a lot, and it helped dig even more personal with other kids that came.
Yeah.
You know, but and it changed me too because it allowed me to see like, yo, it's okay to be soft. It's okay to sometimes be gentle. It's okay to cry, things like that, which goes against my entire childhood.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Not only did it teach them something, it taught me something huge that I use even to this day. So.
Yeah. And I think that's that's like super powerful as well, is being able to go, cool, what's a lesson or something like that we learn? Obviously, in your case, it's going, cool, okay, everyone's not going to learn the same. We need to, I guess, deliver a message in a different way so we can break through to someone. But then I guess the thing that will help stick with you is you got to then implement that straight away. Because I'm like, in the same time, like everyone's probably heard that before, going, yeah, everyone learns differently. You need to talk to different people in different ways to get through. And like that isn't necessarily groundbreaking, but it's just not at the forefront, and it's not something that you think of every day. But whenever you get to learn a lesson and then actually implement it, I find personally it sticks in. And then once you teach somebody else, you go, okay, cool, like that's actually worked. Okay, cool, can I apply that to myself? So then I can get the same benefits. Because if you can, like from my perspective, if I can teach someone to do something and I see their way of life or their whatever it is improve, whether it be training, obviously their body composition results or their strength, or if it's their mindset, if it all improves, I'm like, oh shit, like, okay, cool, like I've been doing a little bit of it, but they actually dove in and did it 100% because they've got a absolute belief in me. And I'm like, fuck, all right, well, I better step my game up and do it. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, this stuff actually works. And I guess from what I've known and from talking to you today, like that's really what being a leader is as well, is being able to take that feedback on or take those lessons on, or when someone says, hey, you're wrong, go, okay, cool, what am I wrong about? Is that actually right? Or they just, sometimes it's just jealousy. They go, nah, you shouldn't be doing that. So you're obviously being able to consciously see if they're right or wrong, taking that lesson on, and then being able to go, all right, cool, this is actually super fucking powerful. How can I get this lesson and then deliver it to other people, obviously in different ways, so they can actually take it on? But yeah, no, that's
being a leader. I think for me, one of the biggest things is when you're a leader, people put you on a pedestal. So this means when you high up, everybody can see you, and they watch everything you do. So if I'm not, and a lot of people say this, some people say it's cliche, but it's real important that you get it and not just hear it. Is if you tell somebody to do something and you don't do it, then that pedestal that they put you on is gone. Like you're done. Because you can look up to somebody so high. You say, oh, I do this because he do this, or I talk the way I do, or think the way I think because this person do. But the moment you see that person slip in your mind, the respect for him is done. Period. And I don't care who. Everybody got a role model, and everybody has had a role model that has let you down. And why they let you down? Because they went against every principle that they taught you. So when you a leader, it's so important to first, before you even open your mouth, think, okay, is what I'm about to tell them something that I actually believe and actually implement? And if it's not, don't open your mouth. Don't, because all you're doing is speaking lies.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no, definitely. And I love that part in terms of leadership as well. Like there's so many people, especially social media these days, that are just saying like, hey, do this. Like I look fantastic, so do this. This is what I do. But then in reality, they're not doing that in the slightest. They're doing something completely different. And it's just like, cool, you're literally, they're not going to be a leader for long, because once they get found out, which they will, they're obviously, no one's going to go, oh, fuck, they're a sham. We don't want to listen to them. He's not doing what he's telling us to do, and he's getting the same result. You know what I mean? So if you can even just, I guess, be authentic and be honest, like we were saying before, and be true to yourself, and just go, cool, basically the way I look at it is be a leader without necessarily wanting to be a leader.
Exactly.
Then that's going to be the most powerful position you're going to be in, because then all of a sudden you're like, cool, this is what I do. If you think that's inspirational and you want to follow me and I want to be your leader, then awesome, cool. But I'm just telling you what I do on a daily basis rather than trying to be your leader. Awesome. Thanks so much, buddy. It's been awesome to chat with you. It's been fucking ages. Heaps of nuggets. Love that. All right. So everyone that's listening, thank you for tuning in, guys. Absolute crack of a time. See you guys next time.